Indiana will reset. Clark, fire away. You bet. Come on.
Caitlin Clark has proven time and time again that she is a force to be reckoned with, both on and off the court. In her first season with the Indiana Fever, she has continually demolished expectations, silenced her critics, and firmly established herself as a top contender for Rookie of the Year in the WNBA. The physicality and toughness displayed by Clark are on full display in every game. And despite the constant attempts from opponents to slow her down, she only seems to get stronger.
Starting lineup put back in after the injury to Temithak Benley has really found her footing over the last 4 or 5 games. Reese, the deep catch and the finish on did not rule it as such. Here is Allen leaving it short. Reese always in on the offensive glass, could not quite hang on.
One of the most talked about moments of her rookie season came during a game against the Chicago Sky, where Clark faced Angel Reese. Both players had been locked in a rivalry all season long, with many in the media hyping up their matchups as the deciding factor in the Rookie of the Year race. The stakes were clear. Whoever dominated this game would likely tip the balance in their favor. From the opening whistle, Clark wasted no time proving why she is one of the most exciting players to watch in the WNBA. Clark started the game strong with a signature pass that set up her teammate for an easy basket. She followed that up with a deep three-pointer that left the crowd on their feet.
Carter wants it in the post on Clark. Here is Kennedy Carter. The pull-up jumper is good. Kennedy Carter for Chicago. Clark goes 1 of 2 from the line. Chicago leads the league in fouls per game. DeShields on a 3. Gets it back to Boston. The Shields very active defensively and effective. Here's Wallace cupping it up and in. Nice take from Christy Wallace.
By the end of the first quarter, Clark had already racked up 7 points, 3 assists, and 2 rebounds, while Angel Reese struggled to keep up, managing only 2 points. It was a rough start for Reese, and as the game progressed, it became clear that Clark was on a different level. Throughout the second quarter, Clark continued to dominate, hitting back-to-back threes and threading the needle with passes that left the Chicago defense scrambling. Her court vision and playmaking were unparalleled, and by halftime, Clark had 15 points and 6 assists. Reese, on the other hand, found herself in foul trouble with just 4 points to her name. The frustration was evident as the Sky tried everything they could to slow Clark down, but nothing worked. In the third quarter, Clark turned the game into a clinic, showcasing her ball handling skills with lethal crossovers and step-back threes that had everyone in awe. At one point, she stopped on a dime and drilled a 3-pointer right in Reese's face, leaving the commentators speechless and the crowd erupting. By the end of the quarter, Clark had already piled up 25 points, 9 assists, and 4 rebounds. Reese, meanwhile, could only manage 6 points, and the Sky were trailing by 14. But Clark wasn't done yet. In the fourth quarter, she continued to toy with the Chicago defense, slicing through them effortlessly and finding wide-open shooters. Every possession was another opportunity to put the game further out of reach, and she delivered time and time again. Her final stat line was a staggering 31 points, 12 assists, and 5 rebounds, solidifying her dominance and making a strong case for Rookie of the Year. Angel padded her stats during garbage time, finishing with a double-double of 10 points and 11 rebounds. But anyone who watched the game knew that those numbers were meaningless. Clark had already won not just the game, but the season-long battle between the two rookies. As the Fever began to pull their starters, Clark had one final moment of defiance. Smiling and waving to the crowd after being taken down by a hard foul, she brushed it off, showing that nothing could stop her. This performance was not an isolated incident for Clark. Nearly 80% of all flagrant fouls committed against rookies this season have been aimed at her, a testament to the fact that opposing teams know they must slow her down if they want any chance of winning. Her performances have drawn comparisons to some of the all-time greats, and she's already being talked about in MVP conversations, even in her rookie season. Yet,
all right, this was too good. I couldn't resist. Caitlin Clark gets her career high against the Dallas Wings. You know, much celebration. Clark showed off her cannon at a velocity and speed I couldn't do. Let me just put it that way.
Not everyone is a fan. Cheryl Swoops has been one of Clark's most vocal critics. From the start, Swoops made it clear that she didn't believe Clarkin would dominate in the WNBA the way she did in college. But Clark has proven her wrong at every turn. Despite Swoops' criticisms, Clark has broken records and redefined what it means to be a rookie in the league. Swoops even suggested that Clark's scoring record was inflated because of volume shooting, but the numbers tell a different story. Clark doesn't just take a lot of shots, she makes them count. The tension between Swoops and Clark has only grown over the course of the season. Sheryl Swoops recently faced criticism after she shared her thoughts about Caitlin Clark's influence on the Indiana Fever and the Rookie of the Year race. Swoops expressed an opinion that caused backlash among Clark's fans. Swoops claimed that the Indiana Fever could still succeed even without Caitlin Clark, but the Chicago Sky would struggle without Angel Reese. This remark did not sit well with Clark's supporters. Fans quickly took to social media, especially X, to express their disagreement. Many fans showed frustration towards Sheryl Swoops' statements. One fan claimed that Swoops was harming her own career by making negative comments about other players. They called her a hater and pointed out that she should protect her reputation. Another fan enthusiastically supported Clark by calling her the best female basketball player of all time. These fans strongly disagreed with Swoops' judgment. Another individual even suggested that Swoops' opinion might show poor decision-making. This led some fans to believe that she was not seeing things clearly. Many thought that her statement ignored Clark's contributions to the team and their improvement. The Indiana Fever had faced a tough few years before Clark joined. They had struggled during the seasons from 2020 to 2022, winning only 6 or fewer games each year. However, after picking Aaliyah Boston first overall in the 2023 WNBA draft, the team began to improve. And with Clark joining, the Fever continued to get better. Some fans also took this opportunity to recall past controversies involving Sheryl Swoops.
Angel, to both kind of go at it for it. How fun is that when there's a competition, a real big award like that?
I mean, I think me and Angel would both give you the same answer. Like, don't wake up and think about individual awards. I know that's what all of you think we do. I know we don't. Like, that's what everybody wants to make this about. But, like, both of our teams are competing for playoff spots. Like, that's our main focus. That's a selfish thing to just care about an individual award. And she would give you the same exact answer.
These fans did not just focus on her latest comments, but they also brought up old scandals. This added even more negativity to the situation. The dedication and passion of Caitlin Clark's fan base became obvious. Many people clearly see her as a major factor in the team's recent progress. The debate sparked by Swoops' comments also led to discussions about what makes a player deserving of the Rookie of the Year award. Some people agreed with Swoops that the Indiana Fever could still qualify for the playoffs without Clark. However, others argued that Clark was a vital part of the team because of her leadership and her impressive statistics. Many fans think is a game changer, and they believe her contribution to the Fever cannot be overlooked. Sheryl Swoops is a respected voice in basketball. She has deep knowledge and experience in the sport, and her opinions carry weight. But her comments about Clark have ignited heated discussions among WNBA fans. It shows how strongly fans feel about Clark and her impact on her team. The Rookie of the Year competition has become even more interesting because of this debate. People and experts are now keeping a close eye on how these discussions might influence the outcome of the award. Swoops went as far as to claim that Clark had taken advantage of an extra year of eligibility in college due to COVID-19. But in reality, Clark played the standard 4 years, just like previous record holder Kelsey Plum. Swoops also exaggerated Clark's shot attempts, claiming she takes 40 shots per game when in fact, Clark averages closer to 19. What's clear is that Clark's success has rubbed some people the wrong way, and Swoops' criticisms seem more rooted in personal bias than actual analysis.
You know, there was this quote by Sheryl that said, Caitlin was, 25 years old. She was, 24 years old. She was a fifth-year senior. Right. She was taking 40 shots a game. Records were illegitimate. And I got off the treadmill and I called her as a friend. You can say whatever you want. You can have your own opinion about anybody. You do have to get the statistics right. I mean, facts matter.
But Clark doesn't let the noise get to her. She continues to show up every game, lead her team, and silence her doubters with every play. Off the court, Clark's impact is just as significant. She has brought new attention to the WNBA, driving viewership and attendance to new heights. Her games are must-watch events, and she has become a role model for young athletes everywhere. Even NBA stars like LeBron James have shown their support for Clark on social media, recognizing her as one of the brightest stars in basketball today. As the WNBA season continues, the race for Rookie of the Year appears to be all but decided. Now, before you leave, just make sure to give this video a like and also smash that subscribe button for more such content in the future.